Hey Maniacs, welcome back to the MAINEiac Radio Show. I'm your host, Tech Sergeant Andy Sinclair with the 101st Public Affairs Office here in Bangor. This is episode 2 of the MAINEiac Radio Show, and we've received amazing feedback from the first episode, our pilot episode, if you will, which is awesome. We can't thank you enough for all the support, and we're glad that you're enjoying this and find it useful. We are very excited about today's episode. Later on, Tech Sergeants Kayla Cattell and Dylan Clare from the Recruiter's Office are stopping by to say hello. And again, this is episode 2 of the MAINEiac Radio Show, which is obviously available on YouTube. But soon enough, this will be available through iTunes as well as Google Play. Right now, we're waiting on an outside agency to kind of set up the MAINEiac Radio Show podcast channel. And as soon as that's done, these podcasts will be available to you through iTunes, which means that you can download them on any iOS device and get push notifications as soon as the MAINEiac Radio Show has a new episode for you. So enough about that, here's your MAINEiac news. 2016's Greater Bangor Memorial Day Parade is just around the corner, and what better way to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice than to march as a Maniac for our fallen heroes. The parade is on March 30th this year, and being hosted by the Bangor High School JROTC. Parade assembly will be at 9:30 a.m. on Exchange Street in Bangor, where all Maniacs past and present are welcome to step off. The uniform of the day will be ABUs. May is National Lyme Disease Month, and we at the 101st want you to pay close attention to prevent Lyme disease from affecting you and those around you. Now that the snow has finally melted and spring is in the air, Maine has countless ideal locations for fishing, kayaking, and hiking. All activities prone for exposure to ticks, the #1 Lyme disease carrier. Senior Master Sergeant Greg Nyland from the Health Clinic talks about preventative measures you can do to protect yourself and loved ones from being bit.
Avoid the tick habitat, the wooded grassy areas. Also wear permethrin on the clothes, DEET for your skin. Stay in the center of wooded trails. Definitely do a tick check. Make sure you check your body over good, and if you are concerned that you have been bit, make sure you seek care from your primary care physician.
To access more information about preventing Lyme disease, visit mainepublichealth.gov or contact Senior Master Sergeant Nyland at 207-404-7499. The 2016 Maine Air National Guard Marriage Enrichment Seminar is 1 month out. Bring your spouse to the Sunday River Resort June 17th through the 19th, where couples learn and explore the underlying dynamics of relationships and strengthen marriages by defeating common relationship problems. The event is sponsored by the Maine Air National Guard Chaplain Service and the Airmen and Family Readiness Program Office. The registration deadline is June 8th. For more information, contact Drew Matlins at 207-404-7494. And that's it for your news. Be sure to check out the official 101st Facebook page and the Maniacs Yellow Ribbon Facebook page for more information and upcoming events. If you happen to see Senior Master Sergeant Eric McDonald with the Emergency Management Office, make sure you congratulate him as he has been selected as a Chief Master Sergeant Select. Congratulations, Senior Master Sergeant McDonald, and thank you for your service. The weather is getting better and better outside. The weekend is approaching. Let's take a look for this weekend's forecast. It looks like Saturday is going to be partly cloudy, but in the high 70s to low 80s. Perfect weather to get out on the water and do some fishing or maybe do some grilling in your backyard. Sunday looks a little bit cooler with a high of 69, but at least it won't be raining or snowing, which parts of northern Maine this week did receive snow. Aww. So enjoy the weekend, Maniacs, and enjoy the nice weather. So as I mentioned earlier, Tech Sergeants Kayla Cattell and Dylan Clare from the Recruiter's Office have stopped by today to talk to us about 2 vital career fields in the Maine Air National Guard. Tech Sergeant Cattell, Tech Sergeant Clare, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, thanks for having us. Our main mission is to refuel other aircraft. So one of the more essential parts of that job is the fuel that we are using. So one of the career fields we have is fuels, and it's the transportation of fuels from their containers back to the aircraft. So there's a couple different elements to that career field. One being the testing. As with anything, we have to know that it's good fuel going into those aircraft. So they go and test to make sure there's no water or debris or anything to make sure we have a good quality. They are also doing truck transportation. So they can be driving trucks with about 35,000 pounds of fuel, and they can bring them down to the aircraft and pump from a transient standpoint, meaning if the plane was like a ways away on a different ramp. We have the capacity of about 1 million pounds of fuel on base. And we also are one of the busiest refuel bases in the country, based on the geographical location that we're at. So obviously without fuels, if we can't get fuel on our planes, then we can't do our mission.
Yeah, that's great. So what about the MAINEiacs that are already performing the job? Do you find, generally speaking, that they enjoy the job, enjoy what they do?
Yeah, talking with some of the fuels workers, and they say like it's definitely one of the better jobs. It's pretty high retention rate. They're pretty happy with it. And so some of the things that they talk about is deploying, being able to kind of go to different places, whether it's stateside or overseas, and being outside. It's not a desk job, so they can do a little bit inside, they can do some outside, they can drive, so they can kind of mix up their day.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Sergeant Claire, for talking to us about the fuel specialists and how important they are to the 101st Air Refueling Wing mission. Now, Sergeant Cattell, I think you wanted to talk about structural maintenance within civil engineering. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Sergeant Sinclair. So structures, they belong to the Civil Engineering Squadron. So they're the ones that go before everyone else deploys. They lay down our roads, construct our buildings, provide us with power, electricity, things like that, and allow us to live on the base. So structures is very important to what we do and to accomplish the mission. So they work with everything from wood. So they're constructing our buildings. They work with different materials. So wood, concrete, metal, masonry, they lay tiles. So they get a lot of hands-on training and experience that will translate to the civilian world.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what about the 101st Structural Shop? Is it strictly day-to-day building, or do they acquire other skill sets as well?
Structures is a 9-man shop, so it's very intimate. They work closely with other shops, however, within the Civil Engineering Squadron. They do work hand in hand with the heavy equipment operators. So they not only get training in their career fields, but they also get to kind of they have a working knowledge of all the other career fields as well within civil engineering.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as you said earlier, if you're in structural, it doesn't just necessarily mean that you are going to be structural. You could volunteer to help be a dirt boy or maybe help out in emergency management, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really nice that they get a working knowledge of all those different components.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that this particular career field helps you out at home as well, working on your house, putting up sheetrock, building a deck, all that stuff.
Exactly, that's a huge benefit, and that's a turnkey trait that employers can look at as well. You can go anywhere in the world and be a carpenter, help build buildings.
Yeah, that's perfect. And you know what? It sounds to me like that's a well-rounded career field that any airman would be lucky to work in. Now, is there anything you wanted to say about the tuition assistance? I know that's recently become a new notch on your tool belt as recruiters, and I know that the rest of the base is just as excited about it as you must be.
We're very excited to talk about our new tuition assistance. What it is, it's a waiver that just passed through the state, and it allows all Air National Guard and Army Guard members to attend any University of Maine system, any Maine Community College system, or Maine Maritime 100% tuition free. So that's huge for our members.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for everybody. But what does the Maine National Guard benefit from sending their soldiers and airmen to school for free?
So what that's kind of designed to do is obviously out of the 1,100 people that we have in the Air National Guard in the state of Maine, is our goal is pro-education. Our mentality is that the more educated you are going to be in life, the better airman you're going to be when you're working for us 1 week in a month. So whether you want to go to a lineman school and get a certification, we're good with that. We'll help you pay for that tuition-wise. If you want to go to an associate's degree, if you want to go to a 4-year school, we're going to help you get to that goal. So that's going to cover full tuition exemption. So you'll have books, fees, and boarding that you'll be paying. And that's just, like I said, that's just one of the many benefits in the Air National Guard, but absolutely excited to offer that. There's over 7 schools in the University of Maine system, as well as more than that for the community colleges in the state of Maine. And Maine Maritime obviously is a nationally ranked college, so that's awesome that we can give that exemption out.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Thank you so much, you guys, for stopping by today and talking about structural maintenance as well as the fuel specialists, which are both challenging but yet rewarding career fields that you have to offer here in the Maine Air National Guard. Thank you so much for stopping by. For more information about these career fields, visit goang.com or call 1-800-2-GO-ANG for more information. And now it's time for your MAINEiac Fact. Today's MAINEiac Fact is brought to you by the 101st Operations Group, who is happy to announce that they are now accepting applications for KC-135 pilots. If you're looking for that next exciting chapter in your life, contact the recruiter's office for more details on how you can fly into the wild blue yonder as a KC-135 pilot. And here's your MAINEiac fact. Major General John J. Pesch was the director of the Air National Guard from 20 April 1974 to 31 January 1977. He was a combat pilot with the 8th Air Force in Europe during World War II. In 1947, he became a charter member for the Maine Air National Guard's 132nd Fighter Interceptor Squadron. During the Korean War, General Pesch served on active duty as the Chief Fighter Branch, 12th Air Force in Germany. He returned to the Maine Air National Guard in 1952 as the Director of Operations for the 101st Fighter Interceptor Group. From 1959 to 1966, General Pesch served numerous active duty assignments, including Assistant Director of Operations to the Air Defense Command. It was in 1966 when General Pesch first reported to the National Guard Bureau as the Deputy Director of the Air National Guard, and served in this position until his assignment to Director in 1974. So there you have it. One of the MAINEiac's own, Major General John J. Pesch, was once the Director of the Air National Guard, making the MAINEiacs proud by leading the way. And that's it, guys, for this week's episode of MAINEiac Radio. Remember, the weekend is approaching, and with it, the nice weather, so look out for yourself and look out for your buddies. Also remember that if you're out and about, and you're downtown, and you happen to have a drink, call the command post for a free ride home. It's not worth it to drink and drive. The number is 404-7788. Again, that's 404-7788. Stay safe and have a great weekend. And make sure to hit us up again next week here on MAINEiac Radio. So long.